Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker from Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live. Let me go ahead and get this set up for you. Welcome to our channel. This is the place where we chat, enjoy our community of crochet, ask questions if need be, and just enjoy being around each other on a Friday afternoon. If you're looking for tutorials for crochet techniques or whatever, please check my homepage just by clicking on that little circle icon. I think my face is in the middle of that. And that'll take you to my homepage, and you can choose from over 1,000 different videos there. So what fun. Well, let me go ahead. I'm just going to jump in and welcome folks because I didn't get to do that as well last week. So I want to make up for it this week if I can. Brad's mom, it's so good to have you in the chat. Says, good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, Becky, and all my dear Yarnies from a warm and sunny Southwest Chicago suburbs. Please, friends, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Thank you for that reminder. Linda, you do so well at that. And Sandra, good morning to you. Says, good morning, Bonnie and Hannah, all my crochet friends from a sunny Southern California. Whew. I just love, in case you haven't figured it out by now, I love finding out where everybody is from. It is so much fun for me. And I know Miss Wanda Gordon she says, beautiful day the Lord has given us. Pray everyone is doing well. I know she's my Carolina friend, I think North Carolina. And Esther, great to have you with us, sweetheart. And she's joining us from New Jersey. She says, just dropping by as I have things to do. Hope everyone is doing good. Yes, ma'am, we are. And Esther says to Sandra, California is a beautiful state. I love the sunsets from there. Oh, it is. It's definitely a beautiful place to visit, Esther. I hope you can go there someday. Um, and Jazzy Baby, I love that name, says, good morning, everyone from Jazzy. Everyone, Jazzy from Hawaii. Wow. Well, aloha, Jazzy. That is so wonderful. So we have a representation from Hawaii as well. That's amazing. You have indeed an amazing state, my dear. Um, got to go there once. Got to be on the island of Oahu. Husband had a business trip. Of course, I had to go along just to make sure he was cared for. It was a wonderful time. I think it was one of the first trips I ever had away from my children. So that was a really fun thing for me. Um, let's see. Phil, good morning, Phil. Says good morning from a cool, refreshing 50-degree day in Wyoming. Whoa. Um, yeah. I wonder what the temperature is outside. I think it's supposed to be like in the 70s here today. So, yeah, enjoy those cool, refreshing days because they're going to be disappearing as the summer gets closer and closer. And we have Jesus Joy 7 says good morning to us and to the Yarny community from May Gray, San Diego. Pray everyone is doing well. Blessings to you all. Oh, thank you, Jesus Joy 7. Hope you and your husband are healing quickly and properly from all the activity and excitement that you have had in your family. And she says to Phil, hope you had a good week of trucking. Yes, Phil, for those of you who are new to our chat, Phil is our one of our resident truckers who serves us by transporting all the things that we need across, across all the lines and to the places where we, you know, get fed and enjoy our crochet and whatnot. So thank you, Phil, again. And Wanda, if Wanda is in the chat, um, Wanda Wyatt is another one of our trucking angels out there. And Jesus Joy says, I have a true appreciation for truckers. My dad was a long distance driver for many years. It's hard work. Oh, I cannot imagine. Yeah, I cannot imagine. I do travel a lot by car, going back and forth on long, 8, 9 hour trips in a car, which is so much easier to handle and to drive. A lot less momentum than a truck would have. I don't need as much distance to stop as Phil does. And for those of you who don't know, trucks need a lot of room to stop. So please don't cut off a truck in traffic. That may be the last thing you do if you do, just because of science and momentum. So yeah, thank you, Phil, again, just for all that you do. Um, And he also says, in my Pinterest feed, crochet curtains and tablecloths are infiltrating, and I would love to do some sometime. Any of y'all do any and have any tips for them? That's a great question. And Phil says, not sure if I would use number 10 thread or a fingering weight yarn. Um, I am not a thread expert, Phil, but I can weigh in just a teensy weensy bit on this. I have done just a few projects that I needed to do, honestly, to get my certification with Craft Yarn Council. It I think thread crochet is almost a should be in a different category than yarn crochet. It's different in that you really have to keep tight tension in order to get the stitches nice and even. Um, Actually, let me show you. Well, I won't show you. I do have a piece or two in my room here that I have frames because I'm not going to do much more of this. Um, it's not my forte. It's not the thing that I do best. So I like to leave the people who are really great at that, which usually is one or two generations removed from me. My husband's grandmother, God rest her soul, she was a super saint, wonderful woman. Um, my first daughter is named after her, and I'm gonna cry if I talk too much about her. I love her so much. Anyway, she's in a much better place right now, but she was a master of this. She crocheted thread crochet bedspreads, curtains. She also did these window treatments, which was basically a picture that you would just hang, let's say, on your door if you have like a glass door to your house. Wonderful, wonderful designs. Um, yeah, and she did yarn crochet as well, but she was just a master. Um, and let me give you a little bit of history that I know. This is from the South. As you can imagine, the South was not as wealthy. They're not the industrialized part, and this is going back a few generations to my mother, to my mother-in-law's mother, and May Boss lived to be 93. Wonderful lady. She could bake, she could cook, do it all. Yeah, as you call her, the Renaissance woman, and she was kind. That's the biggest thing. She was kind and loving. Um, anyway, they didn't always have money for fancy yarns from the stores like I do now. Like a lot of us do. I mean, and when I say fancy, I mean even just the Red Heart, even the Red Heart, Lion Brand, whatever. So a lot of times it was also an agricultural community down in South Carolina, and one of their primary crops was tobacco. And so what they would oftentimes do when bringing in the crop, they would take the big leaves of tobacco. This is before they had the more modern ways of doing this, but they would wind the leaves with twine and then attach it to a stick, and then it would hang in a barn until it was dried out, which would take, I don't know, it depends on the type that you're growing, the type of tobacco, obviously, that you're growing and whatnot. But let's say just say a couple weeks and let it hang out to dry. And so what a lot of the women would do is they would take this twine, and my husband was talking about it last night and he said that I think it was cotton, but he said it also had some nylon in it too, because he said he remembers as a kid using that to help tie up the leaves because he worked on the farm. And he said that it was too hard to break with your hands. You could cut yourself. So I'm pretty sure he said it had some kind of nylon as well, maybe a nylon cotton blend. But anyway, it was cheap string. And that's what the women would use to crochet. And it was, that's why everything basically is white or an off-white color. A lot of them used that twine, to tie up the leaves on the farm. And I actually have a couple of spools of it in my stash. I've been kind of waiting to do something extra special with it. I may break it out at some point. It's just going to take a lot of motivation because, like I said, that's just not what I do the best. I really have a hard time keeping the tension tight. So Phil, if you are one who has tight tension with your crochet, this thread thing could be right up your alley and you would maybe really enjoy it. Anyway, that went on a little bit for that, but I just love the history involved in this. And Margita, it's so good to have you in the chat. Um, and DL Chris, she says, good morning from sunny Southern Oregon. Well, welcome, welcome. And my friend Barbara, so glad to have you in the chat. And by the way, I need to let you all know, where'd my paper go? Here it is. Um, that triggered me a little bit. I wanted to let you know the winners from last week's contest in case you didn't see. I did add them to the video description. I posted on Facebook, but I know a lot of times these postings just don't go anywhere. They don't get added to your feed. Why? I don't know. But um, I did add it to the video description this week. And I also did a notification post on YouTube here to let you all know just in case. Just to let you know, all the winners have been notified and they got back with me and all the books have been shipped out. Um, so our grand prize winner was Barbie or Barbara from our friend from Alaska. And I will tell you, Barbara, I was surprised that it didn't cost more to ship. I was expecting it to be about twice. So I'm glad that they're treating Alaska like one of the lower 48 states. I really appreciate that. Thank you, U.S. Post Office. Um, and the other winners, I just have their code names here. I don't know if it's the same as the names here, but the code names that they would use in the on YouTube is Susan B868, Susanna B2315, and Teresa Moorhead 5059. So those are our winners, chosen totally and completely at random. So I try not to have favorites when I do this. I actually ask my daughter-in-law to just give me random numbers, and I just take the numbers in the order that the entries were received. So congratulations, ladies, and thank you all so much. Those of you, we had a lot of people participate in this drawing, so thank you so much. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the grand prize was actually a copy of Celtic crochet shawls and scarves, along with a kit to make all the yarn you need to make the Phoenix shawl, which is right here. So this is one of the shawls. I guess I could show it to you right here. This is one of the shawls in the book. So, and that was generously donated to us by, okay, come on, brain. The yarnsmith. So that was, I think, thank you, Deborah. Uh, 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 is it Deborah? Okay, I am getting so confused. But anyway, Donna, it's Donna. I'm sorry. Donna from the Yarnsmith, thank you so much again for just generously donating that for a random raffle. So we may do that again. So stay tuned. I don't know when, but I'm always open for giveaways. I just really like the interest that it generates with everybody. I really appreciate that. So let's see. And Barbara, you have a sun beside you. I'm hoping that the sun is coming out and the snow is going away. Maybe there. That would be really great. And Carolyn says, hi, everyone. Was crocheting while the rotor guy was hijetting my main line. Oh boy. FYI. Flushable wipes will clog your pipes. Oh, yes, they will. Anyway, he sees me working on a project. Now I have a new customer. Excellent. Good for you. And I hope all your adventures there at home work well. Don't know if you're on well and septic like we are, but yeah, we definitely stay away from those sorts of things. Got to take care of our pipes. And Carolyn says, we'll definitely be making his wife one of Bonnie's blankets. Oh, you're so sweet. And Alana says, good morning, y'all. Hope this is a good day to crochet. Every day's a good day to crochet, right? We had a lot of rainy days this week. And I will tell you, those are great days to work inside. And I always have a lot of work to do inside. So either way, I do need to force myself to get outside, though. Got to put the computer down, put the hooks down, and get outside once in a while. It's good for me. And Wanda said, my hubby just came in to get lunch and said, Bonnie, tell Bonnie I said hey. Oh, thank you, Wanda. Tell your hubby I say hey back. Maybe we can get lunch together sometime on one of our trips down to Carolina. I'm actually headed your way via Lancaster, 1st of June or so for yeah, a family reunion down there. So I'll be um, kind of going down kind of on the westerly side and then back into the Myrtle Beach area. So we'll probably be there for a couple weeks in June. Anybody in the Myrtle Beach area want to get together, let me know. Private email me if you would, bonniebay@me.com, and we can work something out. I actually did that with a friend, with a YouTube friend this past the last trip down. So yeah, email me. This is fun. Um, and Red Hook said, "Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful 76 sunny day today with storms coming in later tonight." Ooh, yeah. Well, you take care. Enjoy the sun while you can. Oh, thank you, Barbara. She noticed my top. Thank you, thank you. In case you didn't notice the thumbnail, this is if I can stand up. It's a little bit of it's a shorter top. It comes right about at the jean line, but I've got a new top for you on the way, and let me go ahead and say a little bit about that. I use 3 colors, and it's actually an experimental project. So if you want to experiment along with me when I post this, it'll be a while. It'll probably be a few weeks before I get the video edited down. Um, I'll need to also write the pattern and have that tech edited by my editor, who is now is in Texas. So it'll take me a few weeks, but I want to have this rolled out for the summer fun. It took me less than a week or about a week from start to finish to design, record, and complete. So it's not as hard as it looks. This is, let me tell you about the yarn that I used. I got some locally sourced yarn from there's a new yarn store in the Gaithersburg area called Knits and Pearls. I'll show you their logo here. And this is actually a yarn that they are featuring. It's only available from them, and I need to find out, um, when they're going to make this available online. So that may delay me a bit. But it's called, is it Nacre? If I'm saying that right, Woolly Wonder. The content is 50% merino eco wool and 50% organic hemp. Both of these are a very breathable fabric. And I was commenting to my daughter-in-law because I put this on and it doesn't heat you up. It's actually quite cool. And with the broomstick, you have the open holes here. I tell you, it's very airy. Each of these hanks, I needed 3, no 4. I used 4 of these. 2 of the it's a really kind of a green color, but the green color is called gold. It doesn't look gold, but anyway, it's kind of a green, but the gold color. I used 2 of those and 1 of the gray, which really looks kind of like black, but it's kind of a gray color. And the other, the top color is aqua. It's called aqua. So this is DK weight, so it won't take you as long as maybe one of my tops where I use fingering weight. I used a size H hook. Each of these hanks, you do have to wind them. They come in hanks. Yeah, let me get one out. So this is what's left of the blue. They have 240 meters or 262 yards. Again, yeah, DK weight. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. It was, like I said, I'm experimenting with this. I'm told that, the yarn is reasonably soft, but it does have that hemp feel to it right now. But if you've ever worked with hemp before, you know that every time you wash hemp, it will soften up a little bit. It will soften more and more and more until pretty soon you're going to have a very soft top. But even right now, it has not been washed and it feels fine. It's not, itchy or anything like that. It's really nice, with the added merino wool. All right. So I wanted to show that to you. And I'm going to keep this put away in one of my bins where the cedar cedar balls are keeping them in really good shape. And Hannah has a message for me. Um, oh, good. Going back to the conversation about the thread, Sharon Carty says, my mother in law was excellent with thread crocheting. She made doilies, table covering, and other items. God rest her soul. Yeah, yeah. It's such beautiful things. And if you don't like, I hate to say I don't enjoy something when it comes to crochet, but I'm just not that good at it, if you know what I mean. Just the stitches just don't come out right with my hands. But I love the look of this. I have friends who are really good at it. And if you're looking for doilies and things like that, and you want to source them for your house or for an upcoming class I'll be teaching in Pittsburgh, you can just find them very easily. Beautiful pieces at antique stores. You might find them at thrift stores, but that sometimes that can be a lot of throwaway stuff, but sometimes you can get lucky there too. But at antique stores, where someone has already sourced what they're selling carefully, you end up with the best of the best, I think, and for a very reasonable price. In fact, you can buy a beautiful antique doily for less than what you can probably buy the materials and make yourself. Sad but true. Um, and yeah. Okay, so from Countess, is it Calthorpe? I'm sorry if I just butchered that name. It says, first live with you. I'm an avid crocheter, enjoy your videos, and love the Celtic themes. Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to say, going to call you Countess. How's that? I hate to hurt people's names. Beautiful name, by the way. Yeah, well, thank you. Welcome, welcome. I hope you find it a very welcoming place. The people in the chat are wonderful here. And Hannah, our administrator, and Esther, once in a while, when she can make it, are there to help make sure that it stays that way. Um, we don't like too much extreme drama, let's just say. We're not about that. We're about the craft here and being kind to each other. And question from Jet One In. Are they going to do a kit for that top, Bonnie? I'd love that. So much easier for me to buy when it's already made up into a kit. Excuse me. I don't know. I'll go talk to the yarn store once I get this written up and everything, and I'll maybe go talk to them and see what they can do. The only thing about doing it as a kit is that has to be size specific. So obviously, if I guess there would be the minimum I would say that you would need to make this would be 4 hanks of this yarn. If if you need a larger size, of course, the yarn needs are going to vary. So that might be the only trick to a kit. But that is an excellent idea. I do need to uh, get some of my other stuff, talk to some of these other indie dyers to get them into kits. That would be really fun to have. And we have a question from Lisa Calhoun. Is there a yarn that can be used that won't break you out? It all depends on how your body works, I guess, Lisa. I mean, some people, like I have a friend who's a crochet designer friend, Brenda Berg, and she is allergic to wool. And so she can't use animal fibers to design with. How sad is that? So she generally sticks with a lot of cottons. It really depends on what you are allergic to. Um, and people, I will say this, I've said this before, people who are allergic to wool, members of the sheep family, may not be allergic to animal fibers like alpaca, because alpaca, llama, they're part of the camelid family. So, or camel, you can even, it's a rare, more of a rare find, but I have found camel fiber. I do have some in my stash. Haven't used it yet, but I do have some. Probably won't be designing with it because it's not going to be easy to source for you all. But you may be able to find alpaca that won't break you out or irritate your skin if you're allergic to wool. The only thing is the alpaca needs to have been spun and prepared in a separate place from where wool is often spun. So if it's in a factory, let's say, where they may spin wool on it one day and they may spin alpaca on it the next. You might break out from that because there's going to be things left over, residue left over from the wool, maybe some of the lanolin or whatever that can break you out. So you probably need to stick with cottons. I don't know if acrylic bothers you. I don't like to wear acrylic just because it makes me sweat immediately. But some people that doesn't bother and they can wear acrylic all day long. And it's, for the winter, they may need that extra insulation. So, yeah. Thanks for that question, Lisa. That is a really great question. Let's go ahead and get back. Oh, we have Carlene Roberts from Tucson. I love your state, Carlene. I've been there 2, 3 times to Arizona. Love it. Love the open spaces, the Grand Canyon, Prescott, Arizona, the works, the desert, everything. And Jan's good to see you in our chat. And BJ Thornberry says, hi, Bonnie, Wisconsin here. Blessings to you. Well, thank you. We can add Wisconsin to our state. Wouldn't it be cool to get all 50 states sometime? And here we go. We have Donna. Says, hello, Bonnie, Hannah, and all yarn and crochet friends from sunny Ohio. Hey, the birthplace of my parents, Cincinnati, Ohio. But wow. But yeah, love your state as well. Been there a few times, Donna, visiting family. And last time I was in Ohio was from my publisher. It was a long time ago. This was like 2013. Before my first major book was published. And I remember driving from Ohio. I took a different route because usually I go west, just kind of straight west from Maryland to Ohio. And this time around, I was going to Lynchburg after the Ohio time to help Becky get settled into her first year of college. Whoa, this has been a while. Or it was actually her third year of college, but change of college down to Liberty. And so I drove down through all the farmland of Ohio that I'd never driven through before. And it was just amazing over the different rivers and just, through the beautiful farmland of Ohio. And then eventually into the mountains of Lynchburg, which was really tricky without a decent cell signal. This was, 13 years ago or so. Anyway, and Jet Money wants to know, excellent question. She says she wasn't feeling well on the 13th when we had the Watch Zoom class this past week. And was that class recorded? Yes, ma'am. I only have the right-handed version of that up, but I think that's okay because it wasn't like a right or left-handed thing. But yes, that there is a recording of that class. I've kind of distilled it down to basically the essentials of what you need to do the craft. We missed you, but I understand if you're not feeling up to it, the last thing you're going to want to do is be on a Zoom class. But yes, I wanted to show you all, although mine is probably not the most expert. This is what I ended up making. I made a little Celtic knot, and it was to make a pin. So instead of making a pin, I added a hair barrette to the back. So I can have this beautiful hair clip, to pull the hair back in the back. That's got crochet to it. So this was, we had a guest teacher, Jennifer Ryan from Celtic Knot Crochet. And this is for the Watch channel, watch.bonniebaycrochet.com. It is a paid subscriber channel. For those of you who haven't heard of it before, you can check it out. You can look at all the different things. You can't watch videos there, but you can look at the content. You can just peruse it there as much or as as you want. And you can also, there are many, many PDFs that can be downloaded complimentary just for being a paid subscriber member. And the fee is $7.95 a month or $79.50 for the year. You get to participate in live Zoom classes, which we try to have about once a month. My daughter is expecting a child, a new baby in July, and I am the helper. So I'm not sure if July is going to happen, but we just had one in May, and that's what we did. We made the Celtic knot pin. Again, some of the people in the class, theirs turned out so much better than mine, but this was a lot of fun. And it was just always great to sit under Jennifer with her really fun ideas. So, and if that's something you're interested in, and you want to up your crochet game a little bit, and also it's commercial free, ad free. I don't sell my list of names to anybody, and yeah, and if you don't like it, you can get out just as quickly, if not more so, than when the time it takes to sign up. So check that out if you are interested and in taking your crochet to the next level and without commercial interruptions. So there you go. And let's see. Also, there's other content on there that does not appear on my YouTube channel. A little more behind the scenes, and like the classes, like the Zoom classes. And a lot of these classes, like the ones that Jennifer and I teach in conferences, they can be anywhere from $50 to $125 for a class. Yeah, we don't make all of that dollar per dollar. That's just what the conference oftentimes charges because of there's a lot of expenses. If you can imagine putting on a conference, we're paid more like by the hour more than by the number of people. But anyway, so these classes, I'm trying to make this a value for everybody. And there are classes that I've taught in the last couple of years. I've already been doing this for 2 years. I can't believe it. Are recorded in there and for you to watch. There are also design classes that I've not gone public with at all, which require a lot more time on your end as a student, but I do have those available as well on that platform. All righty, let's get back to the chat. But Jet One, and I'm sorry we missed you, but maybe next time. I haven't decided yet what we are going to be, what would be the topic for June. I have some ideas, but if there is anything that you watch folks are looking for that you would like to see, please email me, bonniebay@me.com, and I would love to hear your ideas. Oh, thank you, Winfried, for your kind comment. I appreciate that. And we have Angie and Lucy from Mexico. Welcome, welcome. Love your country too. Been there a few times actually. And Jan says we have a wind advisory. Wow, for your area in Illinois. Wow. Do take care. Don't go up in a small aircraft. um, and Hannah, thanks again for being there, my dear. And Jennifer says, hello, 80-degree day in Manchester, New Hampshire. Ooh, you guys are sweating. That's hot for Manchester. That's where my friend Jennifer Ryan is. She's actually in your town in Manchester, New Hampshire. So wow. And love to craft. Good to see you in the chat and your wave there. Um, and Josie said, did I hear correctly? There are classes on the Watch channel about how to design your own crochet patterns. Yes, there are. They're for more the intermediate to advanced crocheter. But if you're looking to kind of, I don't know, get into my head a little bit, I basically teach one on how to design your own texturized poncho. And I'll be coming out with another new poncho this fall. I'm really excited to show you, but I can't. I need to wait because it's just not the poncho weather. If you all want a release like that, let me know. I just know that a lot of people kind of don't do a lot of crocheting during the summertime. But yes, and there's also one on how to design your own shawl. And I talk about different styles, whether it be asymmetrical, triangular, and even kind of moon shaped. So yeah, I do go into a lot of detail, and those actually have homework. It's not required, but if you wanted to interact with me from the Watch platform, from these classes on the Watch platform, I'll be glad to take a look at your homework and give you feedback on it. I'm very happy to do that for my Watch folks. So yeah, there's not a lot of that on there, but again. Yeah, yeah, I can, and I'll be doing some more behind the scenes. I'm working on a behind the scenes video for the channel also, that will kind of trying to take just little snippets with the video when I'm designing a particular project that I'm actually designing now. So yeah, I just like to try to add little things here and there. There's not a ton of that, but some. that you're not gonna see that on YouTube because it's just not a good place. Plus, I don't there's a lot of some of my work that I just don't want out and outright stolen, or at least not right away. So I can put it on my watch channel and be pretty assured that it's gonna be in a safe place for a time. So that's why I have some exclusive things there. Anyway, we have, I'm already getting behind. Um, pardon me, guys. I it just got a bunch of comments came in, so I need to get on the stick here. Uh, Jan said she forgot to enter. So sorry. Um, man, we got a lot of people in the chat today. I can't believe how far behind I've gotten. Okay, I think I've caught where I've found my place. Okay, Brad's mom, Jennifer, good to see you in the chat. And let's see. Oh, oh, and Jan says we had a hot 98-degree Fahrenheit day yesterday. Thankful this week will be cooler because my central air is not working. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be in that kind of heat without air conditioning. That's somewhat dangerous. And Nicole, good morning to you. And okay. Um all right. Yeah. All right. And Phil says, yes, my new job is going amazingly well. I run from North Dakota or South Dakota to Los Angeles and back. Loving it. Wow. How do you like that LA traffic though? Woo. um, and Swati says, good morning from LA. Yay. Um, so maybe Swati and Phil can grab a lunch, get a burger at the Habit or at the In and Out there in LA at some point. If you've ever heard of those. Um, remember for all I heard about for years and years and years about people going to LA or, oh, you got to get an In and Out burger, got to get an In and Out burger, blah, 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 blah. And then we did eventually. When I went to Arizona, I went to it first time I went to an In and Out. If you all know what I'm talking about, it's just a burger joint. And It's kind of like a Chick-fil-A, but for burgers, if that makes any sense. It was good. It was good, but I have gotten so used to getting burgers at the Habit here locally because that's also a Southern California chain. They started out there, the Habit. And so, but they did put some here locally where I am in Gaithersburg. And I tell you what, that's to date, that's still my favorite hamburger. And actually, I need to take my husband out. That would be kind of fun to just take him out for a burger this tonight. I may just do that. I've been cooking all week long, so I may just try to talk him into a to the Habit. They have the best fries, and if you don't like fries, I know I'm getting off topic, but and this is not a paid endorsement, okay, YouTube. um, but if you don't like fries, they have something tempura green beans where they basically take green beans, whole green beans, batter, fry them, and they're almost as good as their fries. They really are good. I know it's not super healthy, but you feel better inside, because it's green. But anyway, I'm just playing with y'all. If I'm gonna go out and get one of their burgers, I'm getting my fries and no guilt at all. So anyway, um, and Swati says, "Hi, Hannah. Um, uh, been dealing with some health challenges with more surgery next week. Otherwise, okay. I hope you're doing well. Well, thanks for letting us know, Swati. So we can continue to pray for you and and your mom, but particularly for you with the surgery. That can be kind of scary." And Hannah says, "Sorry to hear that. We'll be praying for you." Yes, we will. And Archer Nay, so good to see you in the chat. Uh, Sorry for the delay this week in answering that question. I was just trying to figure out how to answer about making that one design bigger. And the bottom line is it really requires a redesign to do that. There really isn't a magic number. But anyway, so glad to see you in the chat. And yeah, Felicia and Archer Nate says working on I guess the Hialeah baby blanket, Hialeah honey baby blanket. Yeah. And thank you, Wanda, for taking care of Swati. That's so kind of you. And Carol joins us from Oregon. Ooh, I've been there once at a conference for Crochet Guild of America in Portland. I got a wonderful view of the airport from the hotel room. I didn't get a chance to go downtown, but we had a wonderful time, and I had a beautiful flight into seeing a lot of the mountains around there. And yeah, sorry about the ads, guys, but yeah, that's kind of what helps the channel grow. But thank you for tolerating that. Another reason to put a plug in for the watch channel because you will not ever see an ad there. I promise you. Um, and Swati says thanks everyone for the prayers. Yes, ma'am. And Archer Renee says it's humid in Cleveland. Ooh, yeah, that humidity's probably headed our way east, isn't it? Probably going to be with us over the weekend. Um, and Wanda said that's what my grandfather did with his tobacco. Huh? So he grew tobacco as well. Yeah, the Carolinas, I know we're big into that. Still are. It's one of the few crops that you can actually make a decent living at. Um, all right. And pattern ideas from Mary Witt says just an idea because I have not seen it. A summery Celtic maxi skirt that's flowy and not straight. Oh, okay. So like a wide flowy one instead of like one of those pencil skirts that where you can't move your legs. um, yeah, that's a good idea. The trick, the only trick though to doing something like that is it has to be very thin yarn. Um, yeah, I'm thinking that's where crochet lace would really work. If maybe putting a cable here and there and just surrounding it with lace because um, if it's for the summer, you want it to be airy. Um, I'll think on that. I'll think on that. That's a good idea. And you can try doing a Google search to see if there's anything like that, Mary. I have not seen anything like that. Um, I think part of it is it'd probably have to be made out of a thin cotton, and cotton, believe it or not, is one of the heavier fibers, so it would probably be pretty heavy. But yeah, I'll have to give a thought, give that a thought. Um, too bad, too bad that mohair isn't a cool fiber. It's actually one of the warmest that we know of because that's very airy and light, but it's also very warm. So I'll have to look into that and see what we can come up with. And great to have you. And we have Bonnie Thornton from Flemington, PA. Says we have it so much easier than those before us. Yes, ma'am, we certainly do. Just the fact that we have indoor plumbing, I will tell you right now, we are living better than Henry VIII. How do I know? I've been to his house in the country in England. I forget the name of the place, but we went there back in 2019. I believe, yeah, it was 2019 before mayhem broke out, and with the Ligonier Ministries tour, and yeah, very nice, big, cold stone. Um, no indoor plumbing. So it's certainly not a hot shower. So, I mean, yeah, we definitely have it so much better. Carol says, come back to Portland, Bonnie, and Hannah too, and I'll come see you. Well, that sounds like fun, Carol. I just need to get a fiber festival or somebody to hire me to come teach, and I would be happy to do that. If you know of a festival out there your way that's looking for crochet teachers, let me know. That's how actually I'm going to let me go ahead and take a break and tell you about two conferences. Um, the first I need to tell you about is the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. August 22nd through the 24th. And I got an email from Laura. She's the organizer of that conference this past week. It was sent out to everybody, the teachers and everybody. Classes are starting to fill. And there are a couple classes. I don't know I don't know if they're mine or somebody else's, but some classes I've already filled at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. So if you have any inclination, if you are going to be in the area, want to attend, you probably need to get your hat in the ring for these classes soon. Let me just tell you the 4 classes I'll be teaching there. I'm going to be teaching a class, multiple ways to crochet ribbing. I'm also going to be teaching a class on Celtic weave stitch called Celtic Weave and Beyond. We'll be spending a lot of time. If you've not gotten the knack of that stitch, we're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of one-on-one, getting those stitches down and being able to crochet them in a variety of ways. Also going to be making a technology watch band. I think it says a wristband on the class description, but you can make it a wristband, or you can make it it's really designed for for your watch. So we're gonna learn how we can do that. And I'm going to be teaching a class. If you can see behind me, this is just one example. Transforming denim with crochet. And we're not just going to use crochet. We're going to be using anything that you've already crocheted. So you have to come prepared to class with your jacket. And if you don't want to use your best jacket that you spent $200 or whatever on, don't bring that jacket to this class. Okay, this is a class for playing. It's a kind of think of it as an arts and crafts class, and you don't even have to know how to crochet to come to this class. You need to bring a crochet piece or what you want to attach to a jacket. If you want to attach sleeves to the jacket, the sleeves need to be crocheted already. I do have a video on my YouTube channel for that. But this is going to be more fun, learning how to attach them with adhesives, learning how to add. Well, let me show you. Did I leave this here? Yeah. I worked a little bit on this one this week, and adding sparkles. Can you see? Adding little embellishments. I put little sparklies on this. Of course, you're not going to be able to see it. And on the front, just learning how to add things. And by the way, this is one of those beautiful doilies. It's an antique doily that I sourced from a local antique store. Okay. And the jacket itself was also sourced from a thrift store by Hannah. It just so happens that it fits me very well, and this is going to be my jacket forever. So and I just so love just putting fun things on. I can add more things, to the collar if I want. It's gonna be a time of just trying to create a lot of inspiration, so that you can take this, you can do what to a pair of pants, a jeans, or whatever. I'm going to be bringing all kinds of supplies with me, which is why there is a supply fee for this particular class. Also for this, because I'm bringing a lot of costly things that I have to combine into kits for everybody. But we're going to be doing that. We're going to be adding pearls. If you want to add pearls, I've got different colored pearls. I've got the machine that hooks them in. So we're going to be having a lot of fun with that. So that's Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival, August 22nd through the 24th. It's actually in Green Tree, PA, if you know where that is. It's outside of Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh proper. You don't have to worry about parking your car in Pittsburgh in the industrialized section at all. It's parking is a breeze. It's really easy. Going to be a lot of vendors there selling things that you've never dreamed of, maybe have dreamed of. October 23rd through the 25th, I will be heading to Prince Edward Island Fiber Festival up in Canada. Oh, Canada. So Delta is going to be at the Delta Hotels Prince Edward, which is 18 Queen Street in Charlottetown. This is the place of the historic setting of Anne of Green Gables, if you all are familiar with those wonderful books from your childhood, or the movies perhaps, so which I believe were filmed at Prince Edward Island. So looking forward to seeing all of that. Let me tell you the classes I'm teaching there. I'm teaching Introduction to Crocheting Post Cables. I'm going to teach a class on crocheting beautiful trims and borders, which again will have some cabling involved in that, and edging stitches. I'm also teaching a class, Intro to Reading Crochet Patterns and Stitch Diagrams, which is going to be a lot of fun, I think. I know that doesn't sound like fun. It sounds so academic, but I think it's going to be a really good way to learn just how to decipher crochet reading. And once you understand how, it's like reading anything. Once you learn how to read, there's no limit to what you can read. You don't have to memorize everything. And it's just like reading music. A lot of people don't read music, but once you learn to read music, there's nothing you can't read. And it doesn't mean you can play everything you read, but you can read and understand rhythmically, note wise, everything. Same with crochet patterns. It's in some ways it's, reading these stitch diagrams is kind of like reading music, but maybe easier, a lot easier actually. So once you learn how to read crochet patterns, then you're not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching a video. I mean, I love it that you all watch the videos, but if you want to be free of that in a way, you can certainly learn how to read patterns a little bit better and just get more confident at it. Another class I'm teaching, multiple ways to crochet ribbing, just like the one in Pittsburgh. And then the 3 ways to crochet braided cables. We start with small 6 stitch braided cable, then we do the 9, and then we do the 15. So very, very, yeah, pretty straightforward. So that's what's happening in Prince Edward Island in October. So I really hope to see you all there. Um, yeah, I cannot believe it's 12:51 already. And we have, let's see. Da, 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 da. Mary Whiston, she had trouble finding the chat. Oh, sorry about that, Mary. It's funny. They're always people in the computer world, online. Things are always changing, and software engineers always have to make things a little better. Better, I put in quotes because once I learn how to do something, then I have to relearn it. But hopefully, it's for the best. But I'm glad you found the chat this time. I understand that it can be challenging. Thank you, Swati. She says, I missed the giveaway, but congrats to all the winners. Thank you so much. And Barbara says, thanks, kiddo. My pleasure, Barbara. And Felicia says, congrats to the winners. Thank you, Felicia. And Nicole, thank you for the well wishes. And Phil, thank you. And Bonnie, thank you so much. And we have Anne Marie says, hello from St. Louis. Hope your day is blessed. Yes, ma'am. I get to be with you all today. So absolutely, it is blessed. And yeah, we thank you again, Sharon, for your comment about your mom. Yeah. Your mother-in-law. I'm sorry, your mother-in-law. Yeah. And Hannah said, sorry, there was a wasp that got in the house and I had to kill it and then clean up the mess. I'm back now. Oh goodness, Hannah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's not good to have them. I hope they're not getting in somewhere. And thank you, Phil. Oh my goodness, thank you for that donation. I'm going to go ahead and add that right now while I'm thinking of it to our next donation round. Let's see. All right. That gives us, now we're up to 20. So thank you so much. So the next donation will probably be to Shriners. I think we did Rancho 3M last time, so we will do Shriners for the next donation. So for those of you who don't know, whenever we don't solicit this a lot, but whenever we get $100 or more in the super chat donation, then I will try to come up with a new crochet parody song to everyone's chagrin, and just a fun way to say thank you. And then we will donate to one of our favorite charities. Shriners Hospital for Children is one of my favorites. We have people in the chat who have been a patient of Shriners, and including my mother-in-law. Let's see, Esther, and I know Bobby from Kentucky, just to name a few. So did I say Esther? Yeah, Esther. But anyway, and another would be Rancho 3M, which is a children's orphanage and Christian school, and one of the poorest places I've ever been in my life in Mexico, near the border, near Guadalupe. And yeah, and we do have some others. Show Hope, which is an adoption help agency. It's not an adoption agency, but it's a supportive organization started by Stephen Curtis Chapman and his beautiful wife. So anyway, we like to give back as much as we can. So I so appreciate you helping me to do that, Phil. Um, let's see. Yeah. And Jet One says, "Oh, holy moly, Hannah, I would lose it. Glad you got the wasp." Yeah, those things can really mess you up. Those wasps, they can sting you and it can be really bad. I ran into a lot of those in Florida when I was a kid, making extra money clipping people's hedges and so forth. Ugh, I remember getting attacked by at the neighbor's house when I was helping her. Yeah. And Hannah says, Jet One and raid helps me a lot. And when it goes near a window, I attack. If I were a wasp, I'd be terrified of you, Hannah, especially with that can. Um, and let's see. Carol says, you have to be quick to catch those wasps, Hannah. Woohoo. And Anne says, hi, Bonnie. So happy to catch you. So glad that you could be here, Anne. And is it Racine, if I'm saying that right? Good morning, everyone. Bonnie, you look beautiful on that top. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you. And Lisa's Appletown Treasures. Welcome to our chat. Do you have a YouTube channel? That's interesting. It's an interesting name there. Sounds like the name of a good antique store or something. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. And Donna says, when I started crocheting, I did a lot of doilies. I made a cover for an antique sewing machine with quite a few balls of thread. That is so neat. Well, I will just say again, I admire those of you who can crochet with thread and do such beautiful work. Um, I will admire it from afar. And there's also, if you're looking for some of the best doilies I've ever seen designed, there's a booklet. It's an older booklet. It's by Leisure Arts. Um, Patricia Christofferson, I believe is her name. She makes these beautiful, kind of like the one. This may even be one of hers. I don't know if it is or not, but this has surface. The one that I showed you on the back of my jacket. Now, this actually has surface crochet. It has, surface texture. So it's not just one dimensional, but it's like three-dimensional on the surface, which is beautiful. And she did that in her designs because people would always put them upside down and not know which was the front side, the back side. So she put embellishments on the front to be sure that they would know this is the side that goes up. And again, she just has the most gorgeous doilies that I am aware of, and I've seen a lot of stuff in the industry. I think hers at the top. Um, yeah, Hannah's saying that she and Grandma both have been stung on the face by a wasp, so that we don't like them at all. Oh, I remember when that happened to Grandma Barker. We were just outside, and I swelled her eye shut. It was so bad. And Phil says, my dad's mom used to be a seamstress and she made some gorgeous doilies. Sadly, she passed away in 1998 at the age of 98. So I never got to ask her to teach me. Wow. Well, it's really cool that you are still carrying on her legacy in a sense, just by even crocheting, picking up a hook at all, Phil. And I think it's great, when a guy can do that. Um, and And Jet One says, OMG, Hannah, that's wild. No wonder you don't like wasp. Ouch. Yes. Um, I say that a lot, don't I? Hey, Lisa. So glad to have you in the chat. And Ola Joe, the crocheting sailor. Y'all need to check out her website. And she's on Instagram. So check out the crocheting sailor, Ola Joe. And let's see. Countess says, I am allergic to lamb's wool and made my son a king size blanket, buffalo plaid, using 100% wool. Oh my gosh. I had to wear gloves and long sleeves the whole time. Oh my goodness, you're a hero to do that for someone when you're allergic to it. Yeah, I would, if you're not opposed to using acrylic, I would definitely check out acrylic. And maybe what you can do is you can source, if you're really looking for something for you that's made out of natural fibers, look into, like I said, alpaca. And you may even want to check out getting it from people who deal exclusively in alpaca and not not wool as well, because like I said, it could have some of that lanolin from the sheep mixed in there unintentionally. And Lisa's Appletown Treasures is from Ohio, it looks like. Wow. And Jane, so glad to have you here. Um, and Swati says, I like the idea of a top that is breathable. I sweat far too easily, and no one wants that. Yeah, especially if you're in LA. I mean, I know it's not as humid there, but it can get very hot. I remember. Um, and Hannah says to the Countess, oh, wow, that's amazing. You made it. Is it a skin on material allergy? My allergies usually affect my breathing. Yeah. And Barbara says, my material grandmother and mother were excellent doily makers. I have a few I made into mandalas. I make giant doily mandalas and hang outside. Oh, they're so beautiful. Um, I should put some of those on my site, Barbara. Yeah, she does a lot of excellent work, y'all. Um, and Carol says, ooh, Hannah, both stung in the face. That would not be fun at all. No, ma'am. Oh, thank you, Lisa. She likes the hair clip. And Barbara says hair clip idea. Perfect. Yeah, I always need something, especially in the summer. And Phil says, speaking of lamb's wool, I have not seen a ball of yarn that specifies sheep's wool or lamb's wool. It usually just says wool. So how do you know the difference? Ah, it depends, Phil. It depends on how much information they are willing to let you know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess some people are specific and some are not. If it's cheaper yarn, it's probably not lamb's wool. If it's cheaper wool, and it gets a little tricky because it's like with dog breeds, there are a number of different sheep, different breeds of sheep, and their wool varies widely. So that's why going to a wool festival is really fun, because you can talk to the people who raise these animals and they know a lot about the wool. You can take classes at wool festivals like the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival that I was telling you about. You can go to where they have the showing, where they're just showing in a contest, and the man will tell you a lot. The MC, the person who's the judge, will tell a lot about the different breeds, and he will explain why one sheep is preferred. One sheep gets the purple champion ribbon while this other sheep does not, and what the difference is in the wool. And it's a whole it's a whole complex thing. I know about this much about it. I have not. I'm not a shepherd, so I don't know that much about the actual sheep, but I do know that they're sourced from a lot of different places, and depending on where the sheep are raised will determine how its fleece will be. And of course, you have all the treatments. Superwash wool has been treated in a special way so that it's no longer elastic like uh, more raw wool will be. Uh, how it is spun is a whole nother thing. It's complicated. It's like you men talking shop about engines and spark plugs and exhaust systems and carburetors and mixtures of formula and fuel and whatnot. It gets really complicated really fast. And yeah, this is just sheep and wool. This is just yarn, but you do the deep sea dive on it. It's a lot. Um, yeah, and I guess you would know the difference if you knew a lot more about the wool, about the texture of it, how it is, how it feels. That'll kind of tell you too. Lamb's wool is usually a lot softer. All right, so where did you go, Hannah? There you are. Carol says, would like to make a preemie beanie and wonder what type of yarn would be best. Thank you. Um, that's something you might want to check with the hospital in your area if they're looking for something like that, because sometimes they'll specify. And I can't remember. I don't know if they specify. um I would say either probably acrylic or cotton would be fine, but you may want to just check with your local hospital to see, what they recommend. But I personally would have no trouble. As a mom of 5 babies, none of them were preemie though. Uh, I, I wouldn't have a problem with acrylic or cotton. Probably want to stay away from the wools and natural fibers, just not knowing, what the child might be allergic to. Um, yeah, sorry that I can't help you more on that, but that's a really good question. And thanks again, Phil, for the $10. I so appreciate that. Yeah, and it's so great to have some of the first time to the chat today. So thank you so much. Uh, um, and Donna says, I just came in and I believe your top has broomstick lace. Pretty. Yes, yes. And did I show you? I didn't show you. I was going to talk about this, then I got distracted. Um, this is broomstick in the round, which might be a little mind boggling, but I used this is you see the wire in between? A circular pair of, these are 25 milligram, which is this milligram, millimeter, sorry. I was talking medicine with somebody the other day. So 25, which is also a size 50 or 25 millimeter. And you only need one of these, but what happens is the loops come off and they go onto this wire as you're working in a circle. And it's so easy. I had done this before with 3 big plastic. Do I have them? They're in my box over there. 3 big plastic size 50 knitting needles. It's doable that way too, but it's such a pain. So these are wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to putting some more use on these. And just to let you all know, this summer I'm going to be dabbling a bit. I'm going to be dabbling in broomstick a little bit. I think it's a beautiful stitch. I think it's underrated. Um, there's so much you can do with it. This is a 4 loop um, broomstick lace, but you can do it. You can vary the number of loops, and you can get some incredible effects with it. And it's not nearly as hard as it looks. In fact, I've taught broomstick lace to beginning crocheters at the middle school when I was substitute teaching on a long term sub class. Um, Yay, Denise, I have been praying for you on this. She said, Denise F has heard from the doctor and there's no cancer. Praise God. Everything is great and God is so good. Thank you for your prayers. Denise, that is amazing. So I'm going to check that off my list. That is fabulous. Um, wow, that is, you made my day. You made my day. That's wonderful. I've been praying for you too. I've just also been praying just that you wouldn't fear, that we would, yeah, just more trust than fear with this, and so glad for such great news. Yay. Um, all righty. Uh-oh. Uh, oh, thank you, Tammy, on the congrats on the new baby, the new grandbaby. Yeah. I'm not having a baby, but yeah, my daughter is so excited for her. Um, would appreciate your prayers for that too, because there's a history there that's not so great with babies. So just pray that she'll be fine. Um, yes, Jet one in. So I appreciate y'all praying for my daughter Becky, because as you know, she did lose a baby towards the end of last year. So yeah, this was just an unexpected blessing for her to be able to get pregnant so quickly again, and she's within 6 weeks of delivering. So I'll be headed down to the hottest part of our country during the hottest part of the year in the summer in July. Going to be spending my anniversary probably apart from my husband to serve Becky, but my husband and I are hoping to have a really good time. Going to just delay it and go up to Prince Edward Island and enjoy some time there. And Countess talking about the wool says yes, it itches and I get a rash. No anaphylaxis or other breathing issues. That's good. Yeah, but you don't want to be itchy from something you're making. Yeah, and Jan, it's mid-July sometime. She says the 29th is an awesome birthday, just saying. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. My anniversary, it'll be 37 years this year, God willing, is the 16th. So it'd be kind of fun if the baby comes on the 16th too. And yeah. So let's see. I'm trying to get through. Oh, there's so much more in the chat. I'm probably not going to get through all of it, guys, and it's already 9 after. But let me just do a quick look, and then I'll have to head on. It's good to see you in the chat, Trish. So glad that you're here. Um, okay, Lisa's Appletown Treasure says just my YouTube name. Appletown is Jackson, Ohio. Cool. Everything there is apples. We have an apple festival in September. That's really neat. As we've got uh, orchards just right up the road from me here. They have a lot of apples too. This is kind of fun. Um, oh, thank you, Trish. I'm so glad that you're here. She says, this is my first live here. I watched last week's replay. I really enjoyed the conversations here. It's so uplifting. I am located in southern West Virginia. Oh, we're not too far away because we go up to, through West Virginia, a little bit around Harper's Ferry, but I guess that's not southern. But yeah, we're not too far. We're just the next state over. She said, yeah, Denise says, I'm trying to decide what yarn to use for your wandering shawl. Have fun with that. And okay, I have to read this from Jan. Says, Phil, for curtains, I would use a number 3 weight thread, just a personal preference. You could use number 10 weight as well. Yeah, number 3 weight is what I'm going to be, that's kind of what I'm going to be using for the class, the watch band class. Although it's a little on the thicker side. So yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to. I just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. We have the secret yarnery here. Welcome, welcome, and we have the Dutch crocheter. Whoa, Manuela, and all right. Well, guys, and Tammy H. So glad you're here. Um, wow, secret yarnery. Are you in Nairobi? Whoa, girl. Wow, thank you for staying up. That is amazing. Um, again, another place I'd like to go. I really would love. I have not been to that part of the world yet. But as long as we're alive, there's still time. Yes, yes. As soon as I can get my husband to retire, then we can sell the house and start traveling. Don't need a big house that's empty, right? After you've raised so many kids. Well, I wanted to read just a little bit of Christian encouragement. Again, I don't put this out there to uh, to embarrass or shame anybody or force anybody to think other than the way they're thinking now. But it's just for those of us who need encouragement, and I feel like I need it as much as anybody. And when I read this, I'm reading it for myself as much as I am for anybody else. So I just wanted to read a little bit. This is just a gentle reminder that I've read this week. It comes from Psalm 46, which is a psalm from one of the sons of Korah, and it says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth gives way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High." So I'm just going to leave that with you. Have a wonderful week, and I hope to see you all next week. God bless. Bye-bye.